Hello, this is Becca from Willow Hill Designs. Welcome. Today I'm sharing my finished covered box, which is part of the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 5, and it is the May prompt, which is to cover a box or create a box and cover it with slow stitching. So this is my box. This is a little small box, about 5.5 by 4.5, and I will link the video just before this one, which actually shows how I was thinking of putting the fabrics on this box. But I will start with the top of the box, and the top of the box has some pieces of fabric added from a dresser scarf, a little doily, portion of a doily, a little motif cut out of there, some lace. This is a piece of a linen napkin with a very pretty finished edge, some flowers that were cut out of a piece of lace, a little piece of fabric with the word treasures printed on it, and I will be keeping some treasures in here, some buttons, a little grouping of buttons over here, and this is another little motif cut out of a doily. Here's a fabric covered button, some others just to kind of carry that color theme, and this is a vintage mother of pearl button. This is an old one that was one of my mother's. And over here in this little grouping is a lace heart and a little snippet of fabric that seemed to go with the colors, and another little piece of lace on here. And for the rose, I'll try to give you a close-up here. The rose, I did all thread painting on this rose, and it's really labor intensive. There's a lot of stitching on here, and I chose 3 colors of kind of a rose color, a lighter rose, a medium rose, and then went to a dark, almost like a brick color here for the darker areas, the interior part of the rose, and in here at the base of the petals, and I used a little bit of that around the edges of the petals, and then kind of an off-white for the white parts on this little rose. And then in this area here, these different areas, I used actually an orange DMC floss, and you wouldn't think if you held it onto these colors that it would go. But when you kind of blend it with these other rose colors, it gives just kind of a shine or a sparkle, almost a little bit of a glow to this rose, and I really loved it. I used 2 strands of that orange and just kind of interspersed it here in some of these darker rose colors. And I love the glow that it gave to the rose. And then I tried to delineate with the very darker color so that you could see the different gradations of color in the rose on here. And so lots of thread painting in this rose. And then for the little branches, I did some green DMC floss in 2 colors, a lighter and a darker here. Same thing down here, did the leaves with a green DMC. Actually, no, I'm wrong. This is a pearl cotton on here. Both of these are pearl cotton here. Same thing on these leaves. I didn't do heavy stitching on these leaves. I thought that was enough, that accented the rose enough. So that's the top of the box, and underneath this fabric is a padding. There's 3 layers of cotton batting underneath this, so it does give it a nice kind of dimensional, nice soft feel when you lift the box up. And then I'll just show you the sides as we go around. I'll start in the back because this is where I started applying the fabric at the center back and went around this way, coming all the way around and then overlapping this edge. This could have been straighter here, but I guess I'll have to live with that. So I started here, and I had drawn some gentle curves on here, some vines, and I didn't want to use green because I thought it might be a little too confusing with the other greens here. I wanted just something to give dimension but not take away from the design of the fabric, because my first love is fabric. And I also did a running stitch all the way around the top portion of the sides of the box. So these are done with a pearl cotton number 8, and follow around with the same kind of soft curved shapes. This is a little motif of lace that was cut out and stitched on here with a piece of pink fabric on here underneath. I'm not quite so crazy about the yellow, but I do love the pinks and the peaches on here. And so again, just more stitching and a portion of a doily. And here's that running stitch that goes all along the top of the sides. And another portion of a doily, some more stitching in here. And this is a piece of fabric that was stitched on here, a piece of a corner of a piece of lace, a kind of a long dimensional lace. And here's another piece of fabric with the word blessed stamped on it, or printed on that, and I loved that. Coming around to this side, another portion of a doily in the corner of the box. And over here, a piece of fabric, a little piece of that, I think it's probably a dresser scarf, and another portion of lace that is attached to this piece. More stitching in that kind of a robin's egg blue pearl cotton number 8 that comes around to the back. And soft swirls. I did some lazy daisy stitches on some of the ends, and I didn't plan it. I just started here and here, and actually these two, had there been another stitch here, it could have looked as if they connected. That was providential. I certainly didn't plan that. So that's the sides. And for the bottom, I just did that process that I showed in the last video, where these corners are mitered. They're snipped so that there are 4 separate pieces that fold over, and then in the corners they're mitered, glued down, and another piece applied to the top here with the edges folded under. And I glued all of this down with an art glitter glue. It seems to be sturdy, it seems to hold well enough. And then I just glued a little piece of stamped muslin with my name on here on the bottom of the box. So that is the outside. And I just love all of the little touches that are on the outside of this box. I think it just really looks so very pretty. And this fabric, which is the same as this fabric here, I received that in a little package from Etsy. This was some vintage pieces to use for slow stitching. And this is that fabric right here, the white, with that gorgeous lace on it. I'm guessing this might have been a tablecloth that was cut up. I'm thinking maybe a pillowcase, not sure. But I took some of that and I put it in coffee, and coffee dyed it. And this piece, I took a little, that little portion on the side out of this piece, but I saved this fabric because I think it will just add to whatever else I'm stitching on. But the coffee just gives this a beautiful shade, and you can see the difference between the two. And of course there are some applications where you'd want the white, but there are also others where you want something to look very vintage, and I love that look. So on this one, when you dip it in the coffee, if you just kind of let it drip and run out along the bottom, and then set it on your paper towel to dry, it gathers there where it ran down, the coffee runs down, and makes those edges look almost as if they've been burnt or in some way worn a little bit more or aged a little bit more, and I love that look. I think that's very pretty. So that's kind of a nice way to use coffee that's left over, just to age a fabric. So the inside of the box looks like this, and I chose some fabric with some chickadees on it because I wanted to see them when I opened the box. And this is the original fabric, that chickadee fabric. And I don't know if you can see the difference in color, but this was a much bluer blue. And the fabric on the outside is kind of a blue-green, like a robin's egg blue, more so. And this seemed very blue to me. So I also dipped this fabric in coffee. And if you can see the difference, it definitely toned it down and gave it a little bit more of a vintage look. So again, the benefits of dipping things in coffee. So this is just a little portion of a handkerchief that I also dipped in the coffee, and I stitched that around this piece that I would put on the top. Here's a piece of that lace that I showed you, this white, and this is a portion of the lace, and again this was dipped in coffee, so that has that kind of an aged look as well. Both of these do add a little something extra. And then on the very bottom there's a piece of batting under this little chickadee, and then I just took some Cluny lace and went around the edges of this and just glued that down as well, so that when you open the box, this is what you see. And I love this. And because I put treasures on here, oh, my daughter is texting me. Just 1 second. I'll just answer her quickly. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My little grandson wants to come over and visit, and just 1 second. Okay. Oh gosh, he likes to play with Nani. I think Nani's playing days might be behind her, but we'd never know that. What were we doing the other day? Water balloons out in the backyard. That was fun. I had to tell him not to get me wet because we were going to go out to buy flowers to plant. So that was tricky, not to get wet with water balloons. But anyway, the treasures that I will be keeping in this box are my cigarette silks. And I have been collecting these for many years, and I'll just show you a few of them. I have queens that I have saved, and it has taken me many years to collect these, and I'd like to put these in a quilt. This is a countess. This is an empress. This is, let's see, that is of France. This is Mab, Queen of Ireland. So those are the queens that I have. And then I have just depictions of everyday life. And these were all little premiums that were put in the packages of cigarettes, I'm guessing, to encourage people to buy them, maybe men to buy them and give these premiums to their wives. The Milkmaid, Caroline of Brunswick, Lady Hamilton and Dog, Madame Lebrun and Daughter. This one is called High Life. So it looks like someone with a glass of wine maybe, and some pies and their dog, maybe on a country estate. I think this was an actress, Zira. And I think this woman might have been an authoress. I'm not sure. This is Turkey Red cigarettes. And these two are dogs. Welsh Terrier, rough-coated Bernard, St. Bernard. And then they tell a little bit about the dog breed, so I'm guessing that some of them came with papers on the back. Best dogs of their breed, 50 in number. So they tell a little bit about that dog, which I think is interesting. And these are butterflies and moths. Again, I would like to put all of these in a quilt. Because the edges are so delicate, I would have to think of a way to apply them to fabric so that they would be preserved carefully. A lot of them are probably 70, 80 years old. A lot of them are Tokyo. This one looks like a moth. This one looks like it might be a moth as well. Tokyo cigarettes. They had a lot of the moths and butterflies. And they have the factory number on there in the 1st District, New York. Just such interesting little pieces of history, I think. I think they're just beautiful, and the coloration on them. Oh, and here's another woman. This is Louise Desser, it looks like. I'm not sure if she was an actress. That's Turkey Red. I'll have to put her in with the women. Here's another Queen Isabella, Queen of Spain, 1494 to 15040 cigarettes. They were a large manufacturer of these. Maud Lambert, maybe an actress. Turkey Red cigarettes. I'll put those in with the women. And then I have several, I absolutely love these, the women of different countries. And these are just beautiful. I have some duplicates of these. This is Switzerland. So this would be maybe an iconic dress from that country. Ireland. Some I have doubles. This one is not as brilliant. The colors, it's a little bit more worn, so I would probably use that one in a quilt. This one is Scotland. Looks like they're in their native dress. Mexico. Sorry, I hope I was in the frame when I was showing these. Cuba. I'm so busy looking at them myself. A duplicate there. Cuba. Belgium. That's pretty too. Portugal. I think that's very pretty. I don't have any from Italy that I know of. Egypt. Denmark. It's very pretty. Germany. Very striking. This one's Canada. And these are mostly by Nebo cigarettes. Most of them seem to be manufactured by Nebo. This is my absolute favorite. And look at it, it's so fragile here. Part of it is coming away, but this one is China. But I just love the colors, and I think she's very beautiful. That's one of my favorites. Norway. Very pretty. France. I think you could almost guess that without seeing the name on there. I have doubles of that one, of France. And this is Holland. This is the last one. This one looks like it needs to be pressed, and you can see the age and wear on the back of them, but again, they're beautiful. And then I have a couple of kings. Let's see, this is King Nicholas of Montenegro by Nebo Cigarettes, and this is General de Castelnau. I'm guessing French. And the other one, King Victorio Emmanuel, I had that one. My grandfather was actually in his honor guard, and I put that in another slow stitch piece. So that one is in another quilt, sort of a little mini quilt. So those are the kings that I have. And this is just over many years of collecting. And these two pieces, I don't know that they're cigarette silks. They're silks. I don't know that they're cigarette silks, but I just think these are beautiful. Disney, of course, Sleeping Beauty, sorry. Almost said Snow White. I think that's Sleeping Beauty. Is it? Or is it Snow White? No, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I just love, love, love this. Would love to do something beautiful with that, and this one with Bambi. I mean, these are gorgeous. I have never seen anything like this, a Disney silk again. So I would like to piece those somehow in a little quilt of some sort, probably a little mini quilt. So these will all be kept in this box. And I think appropriately it says on the cover, treasures, because to me these are really treasures. I love them. Let's see, these women go in with the women. I'm not quite sure how they got separated. Let's put the women on top because I think they're beautiful. How about this queen? Mab, Queen of Ireland. So they sit in my box, and this little box will sit in my sewing studio, and I will just enjoy looking at it and remembering all the fun things of just working on it, and the different television programs I was watching in the evening while doing this. So thank you very much for joining me. I am done a little bit early, so this is nice. I have time to work on a quilt that I've been putting off to do a lot of this handwork. So I'm finished, and thank you for joining me, and I'm wishing you many blessings, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.